Hello, my loves. We're going to go deeper into those divine feminine magnetism messages and how it's intersecting with the feminine's capacity to eliminate distractions through overextension or overattachment or guilt over boundaries. Some of these things that are occurring for many of the feminines who are resonating with this is you're actually rewriting and reattuning your relational nervous system into the energies that are actually more aligned with receiving the reciprocation and relationship and reciprocity that you have been asking for. Excuse my voice. So, you may find yourself as you're eliminating the energies that have been distracting, may be connected to things like your capacity to feel safe and validated within yourself and not needing constant contact with others in order to feel safe within yourself. This energy of balancing your openness without overextending your energy, but that nice tempered balance of being open, but also, like, again, not overgiving, just meeting relationships where they are in kindness and, making your moves forward, how it resonates with each individual relationship and deepening into your desire without attachment, allowing yourself to drop into feeling and acknowledging what it is that you actually want in your life without the attachment of it having to show up in a certain way in a certain time, but also being comfortable enough that you're not needing to feel guilt or shame around having boundaries or standards for yourself because this feels important because what I'm tapping into is a lot of the divine feminines have really been going through such huge transformation. They have changed their relational nervous system. They have a larger capacity to show up for themselves and with others in reciprocity. And so there's this opportunity or this energy that you're more available to reciprocate with others and welcome them into your life. But it's really important that as you're doing that, as you're moving forward, you're just noticing the nuances in I think this is coming up because my sense is that some of you in the past may have had availability or made yourself more available for certain relationships, even when the others didn't have the capacity to meet you in reciprocity. And over time, that disparity started to show up and or as you've become more healthy and you're moving into more interdependent relationships versus codependence, the same patterns or the same energies that you had in your relationships may just not feel the same anymore, or they're not working the same anymore. And so it feels like the more that we heal our nervous systems, the more we take responsibility for ourselves and prioritize our own internal mastery and validation, the more you'll notice some of these nuances in your relationship and just sort of adjusting what feels aligned in any given moment is the absolutely appropriate way to move forward. I think this is coming through because my sense around this energy is, especially as we're going through these collective transitions, it's important that you're caring for the peace that you've built for yourself. Remember, you've been going through this transition so that you can be available in the new energies because you're part of building the foundation in the new energies. So as you're opening back up or coming back out in the world, you're sort of testing the waters of what still feels correct for you. And so you may find some of these things that you once thought were a no-brainer that you were available for, you might find you're just not available in the same way because it creates a disparity in the energies. And I think most of you will know what I'm speaking about because it's something that you'll just feel, right? Because if something starts to feel depleting or one-sided, or you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about if for a time, if someone's going through a hard time or anything like that. It's just like over time, you'll notice if someone has the capacity to meet you the way that you're meeting them. And it's all okay. It's just you noticing and then deciding how you want to respond to that. And as I'm feeling this, I do feel like it's also deeply connected to the masculine energies in the internal masculine energies, regardless of how you identify, because it's our masculine side that is the giving side. It's that part of us that tends to overgive, right? Because our feminine side is the receptive side. This is what I mean by we all hold both no matter what. So even as feminines, those of you that connect with that part of this part of you that previously overgave or overextended yourself, that is connected to the internal masculine energies. And so I feel this part right now as I'm speaking is going through another level of transformation through this process of really dancing. And this is so much more physical world where you're actually looking into the relationships and how you want to proceed with this. That goes with the message I did on Christmas Eve, connected to really sort of witnessing or observing the dynamics of the relationships, or if you're receiving telepathic information, where are things and does it really actually make sense for you to open that door or go down that road? And it's all okay, no matter what you decide. And in truth, you do not need to know those exact answers. I've actually been seeing multiple comments around people being approached by a new masculine while they still have their counterpart energy in their field and being uncertain of what to do. And that is all perfectly okay. If you don't know what to do, then there's nothing for you to do at this time other than allow it to keep opening and unfolding. This is actually your opportunity to co-create and decide what it is that you want for your life. And it may or may not be about either one of those specific people. It may actually be about what it is that you're wanting to cultivate in your life. And can one, both, or either of them actually meet you in the level of reciprocity that you are looking for? And you start asking yourself these types of questions. Is this something that actually is meeting me in reciprocity, right? And if you don't know those answers right now, that's okay. There's a reason that you don't know the answers. It's just because you don't have all the information that you need. And you're also a new version of yourself. So you're going through this process, these experiences, these opportunities are in front of you so that you can actually distract the information that's right for you. And you can start to discern more and more of those nuances, right? And then you're looking at, regardless of who comes forward to you, you're really looking at, is it something that's actually creating that energy of trust and reciprocity? Is it something where you can actually show up equally and find time to be present with one another, where you can find time to make one another a priority, right? And it's not about all the time, right? Like we said, it's not about having it to be constant contact, because if you're building genuine trust and reciprocity, you're not needing that other person to constantly validate you. But yes, you're also probably still looking for some levels of consistency so that you can build that trust and feel safe with one another. But each of you sort of dances and decides what that is, right? As you're going along. So yes, it's about noticing the information that's in front of you. And if you don't have the answers, again, that's because there is more to explore, there's more to learn, and there's an opportunity in front of you to learn more about yourself, right? What actually supports the next levels of your growth and expansion, right? You want to notice, is this taking me out of my energy, or is this actually supporting me in my energy? Is this helping me to grow, or does it feel like it's pulling me out of my growth pattern? And you might not know. You might have to go a few steps down the road to get the necessary information that you're needing, but that's perfect. And this feels really important that you allow yourself to experience the space and grace, because whatever these pockets are, whatever this energy is that's coming up where you're feeling uncertain, is where you get to learn the next levels. We didn't come here to have all of the answers. We came here and we went through this transformational process so that we could create the new ways of being. And that most certainly and deeply includes you getting to decide how you move forward. And if you don't know yet, perfect. That is all okay. You center back to yourself. You realign with yourself and your heart, your higher power, your connection to earth. And you simply say, all of this information and potential is up in front of me. You know what I want, how I want to feel, how I want to live. Is any of this actually making sense for me right now? Is this something that is beneficial for me? And you send that information to the new masculine, you send that information to the counterpart masculine, and you give it space and you let it start to show you. You let yourself start to feel the truth and the energies through your dreams, through your meditations, through whatever comes up for you in this process. Okay. Because actually, what I'm sensing and why this is coming up is some of you may actually still have a little bit of a defense mechanism up if there's new things coming in and you're feeling uncertain because you have the counterpart or you have multiple opportunities coming to you at once. That's okay. Instead of having a defense mechanism up, you could dissolve the defense mechanism and allow your priorities and your standards to become the natural filter. Okay. Instead of holding yourself back or allowing fear to freeze you, you can simply say, you know what? I don't know right now what this is. I don't know where this is headed, but I do know what I want. And I do know what I've been working for. And I do know my capacity and my ability to show up present in a connection. And so I do really know some of what I'm looking for, and I might not have all the information that I need right now, but I'm just going to let it keep opening. I'm going to keep embodying deeper into myself, and I'm going to keep giving these situations space until I get a green light, until I get clarity. This is actually really healthy. And this is actually the process of truly embodying your conscious creatorship. And it's taking responsibility for your choices and your experiences versus just completely shutting something out without knowing, or completely jumping into something without knowing. This doesn't necessarily need to be a time of all or nothing. This is a time to open up in ways that feel aligned and explore the opportunity in front of you so that you can decide what actually is truly good for you and what feels right for you, my loves. Okay. I know this is something sometimes we have to rewrite. This is, again, rewriting that relational nervous system and allowing it to actually, that new relational nervous system to get a chance to land. And that is part of what you are experiencing if you are feeling uncertain about what to do. Take a deep breath. Give yourself space, give yourself grace. This is where you get to experience and then decide one step at a time. And if right now you don't know what that is, maybe your step is to just be. Just be still. Gather more information. Maybe you're just in the research and development stages of wow, these opportunities are coming forward. So now I get to actually look at and see how much I've embodied. Or now that I am embodied and this door is opening, how much have I really changed? What do I really want? What's comfortable for me now and what will I really not participate in anymore, right? Where do I want to put my energy and focus into, and where do I just want to dissolve and eliminate distractions that are unnecessary? Okay, these are all questions you can ask yourself in the interim. But what I encourage again is that if you're uncertain, don't try to force it into one direction or other. Drop into the present and practice patience. And in that, you can just say, okay, what is this? What do I want? I'm going to drop in and be present with this and really notice what you're feeling. Is the situation bringing up nuances or feelings of a past experience? Is that something that you need to sort through? Or is it something that's really just giving you information and you're like, okay, I see these circumstances. It has a potential to go down this road like my past experience. And so I'm aware of that. I'm not downplaying the potential of a similar energy. But I also know this is a different person or a different time or there are some different parts of the situation. And so it won't be harmful to open it up and find out, right? So you just sort of dance with it and you can't know what you don't know until you know it. So just unravel this idea that you're supposed to have all of the answers when it's not really genuinely possible for you to have all the answers yet because you don't have all the information. Space and grace, presence, and peacefulness, right? Presence and space. Just allow things to open up. Again, I feel like this is a place in a space where many feminines have had a bit of a defense mechanism up, rightfully so. That was part of your healing process. But now that you're more ready to come forward and ready to open up to new relationships, that past wall is getting pushed on. And this is where you bring in those boundaries and standards and cushions and filters so that you can move forward with openness, with an open heart, but without overextending past what feels genuinely aligned for you. Okay. So I'm going to pull one card here to see where this is headed. And then I actually feel like I'm going to go deeper into a part two with whatever else wants to come up for the group of feminines resonating with this. Because I do feel what I wrote down was like how this is prep for sacred union and where it's headed. So let's just get one message that's coming forward. And then yes, okay, so I'm pulling from the shaman dream. And in the part two, the extended, I'm gonna go into how this is playing out in the physical world, what may be coming towards you, and some deeper messages on how to work with this time frame. Okay. Deep diver, diving into a task. So this feels like as you allow yourself to deepen into these situations without trying to force them one way or another, it's actually allowing you to hold the deeper capacity and anchor in more presently on the earth in your physical world, material life, what it is that you're actually wanting. So this is deep in the energies, but See, it's diving deep into a task. So instead of looking at this as a confusion or an uncertain time, look at this as an opportunity to dive into the task of embodying into the physical world what it is that you have been working on within yourself as you've been facing your shadows and coming into deeper states of internal union. Okay. So this is the actual embodiment of all of the things you've been working on. And the reason it may look or feel a bit different, what I'm sensing is where you may have felt really confident in the energies and that was a level of embodiment. And now these things are coming forward in the physical and it's stirring up uncertainty, not because you lost your confidence or not because you don't know what it is that you want. It's just that now you're opening those parts of yourself in the physical that you haven't embodied into yet. But this is the process of the actual embodiment. So, yes, in part two, we're going to go into what you can expect or experience as you embody into this next levels of physicality and your new relational nervous system. All right, my loves. See you soon. I'll put all my information in the pinned comments. I would love to hear from you and wishing you a beautiful rest of your year. Take care. Much love. Peace.